And we are live. So I guess a few minutes to let some people get on here. So come on in. Just come on in to my room.
Can you put a link in the group? Or maybe I can do it. Has anybody put a link in the group or anywhere?
I didn't, but can you? Because
yeah, let me see if I can work that out right
I
quick.
got too many things going on over here as it is.
Yeah,
Like,
we
I'm
don't
on the
want you to
screen
mess
twice.
nothing up because we have some, some specialties. So we don't want no more specialties.
I might do a free reading tonight. Somebody might get lucky.
Cool.
Okay, guys, welcome. This is Eclectic Crystal, your intuitive guide. I want to say happy Halloween. I'm joined by my wonderful, loving, and beautiful coven sisters. I got Oshun. I got Coach Preacher, also known as M Rain, and I got my sister Teresa, also known as. Say your name, Teresa.
Teresa Divine.
Yes, that is her.
She said, "That's it."
I love that. Every time I hear it, it sounds good in my ear.
Right.
So we had some technical difficulties, y'all, but I thank y'all for being patient and bearing with us, and I thank y'all for tuning in. I know it's been a minute since I've been on here. I have been doing some self-evaluating, some deep going within, and kind of getting closer with my coven sisters, and so I am back, y'all. I am back live and in charge. So we're going to talk about a few different little things tonight. We don't have like one specific topic to talk about, but first things first, we are going to New Orleans, y'all. Yeah. October the 30th to November the 1st. So we will be offering our services to you guys. If you guys want to tap into your ancestral energies, if you guys just want to kind of join in with us, if you want some readings, some services from us individually and as a group, we will be offering packages. And I'm going to post that on my page when we're done. My sisters have been posting it on their pages. Please go on Facebook and check everybody out. That's Crystal Williams. That is Lucretia Hayes Rayno, also M. Rain, Teresa Evans, and of course myself, Witchworks. So I'm just going to kind of let the conversation go where it's going, let spirit kind of take us where it wants us to go. And I want to talk about New Orleans for a minute, y'all, because I'm so excited. Like, I know y'all see me on two different ways on this screen, but we had some serious technical difficulties. So I got my laptop right here and I got my phone right here. So if you see me going from side to side, that's because I'm, playing around with my technology over here. But, okay, New Orleans, y'all, we getting ready and prepared, y'all. We've been getting some things for y'all. We've been putting some packages together to accommodate our friends and family and our followers, and we are getting ready to go down there, y'all, and we getting ready to come with the pain. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Like, we getting ready to do some things down there. We getting ready to tap in down there. So me and Crystal been talking, and I was telling her I want to go to the backwoods shops. I don't want to go to no storefronts. I want to go down in the backyard, down in the basement where there ain't no windows, and grandma sitting down there with one white eye, honey. I'm trying to get down there.
Well, let me tell you, Eclectic Crystal, why I chose the particular shop. At least I think we're probably going to go to several places, but the one place that I was telling everybody about that I kind of sent you the link to is called the Seven Sisters. And I remember being a little girl. I was always a little nosy kid that was listening to the grown folks talking somewhere. So every time that my ancestors, my ancestors, they're not dead yet, but my relatives would come from the South, because my parents, my mother and father, they were born in Alabama. I was born in Michigan, but they were born there and they were raised there. So a lot of relatives would come, and every time they would come, they would tell all these stories about like witchcraft and spiritual stuff. And they would talk about how this person went to go see the Seven Sisters and that person went to go to see the Seven Sisters. And so I grew up remembering these stories. And then when I became an adult, I moved south for a while, and I met a guy that I was dating. He was a Scorpio, and Lucretia's a Scorpio. So, you know, you're naturally mystical. They're naturally drawn to the occult. And he had been to New Orleans to see the Seven Sisters. So, years later, I was listening to one of these occult block show radios, and they had the Seven Sisters on here, and they were given more of the mythology. Basically, these women have been reincarnating for generations, these Seven Sisters. And so there's a lineage of it. And they have a shop in Algiers, New Orleans. And so that's one of the places that I want to go to, because I know they got that real deal New Orleans voodoo, not that commercial stuff, watered down stuff that they're passing on to the tourists. You know, it's that real deal stuff, you know. And this is insider stuff. Like I said, I know people who have been there.
Right. I went on that page. Well, I was getting excited, honey. My mouth was watering, child. My hands was going like this. I was like, oh, suck it, now it's going down.
Yeah.
I'm calling tomorrow and make my appointment. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
I think we all should get a reading.
I want one. I want to get a reading from a medium, you know, since we're going to be in New Orleans during this time, and I have like an ancestral connection. I think that's something I just want to try, you know, while I'm down there.
Yeah. So some of y'all may not know. I think we all have some of the same followers, but some of y'all might not know that our sister M. Rain, Lucretia Hayes, she's already in Louisiana, y'all. So she's only a couple hours from New Orleans. But she and I were talking, and I've been to New Orleans before, and I was just saying how, for those of y'all who never been to New Orleans, there's a bridge that you go across going into New Orleans. And honey, when you get on the bridge, the spirits just kind of suck you up, and you can feel the energy like instantly. Okay. We done lost Lucretia, y'all. But she'll be back on in a second, y'all. But the energy down there, it is not a game. This is a time that you would definitely want to connect with us while we're down there, because like I said, the energy is very, very strong, and especially during Halloween time. So I've been down there doing Mardi Gras. I was down there doing Hurricane Katrina. And the energy during that time, during Mardi Gras, is very heavy. So you can imagine what it's like during Halloween. So I'm excited. I know I can tell you this. When I first went across the bridge, the water was very high. So it was starting to go across the bridge. But as soon as our tires hit the bridge, I immediately began to weep. And it wasn't like a sad weep, but it was like you could just feel every single ancestor, every slave, everything. You could just feel it. Especially if you're an empath, you can really, really feel it. So you guys, you know, if you really, that's the time you really want to tap into your ancestors, that's going to be that time. Y'all don't want to miss out on that. I'm going to tell you right now.
I know. This is I don't call it a once in a lifetime, but this is one of those, I think, trips and experiences that will be very integral in everybody's spiritual growth and on their path. I recently got my aura done, and I was telling you guys that part of the way that your aura picture shows, it shows the energy that's coming into your life, the experiences that are on their way. And based on the colors, I had like a lot of white and a lot of violet, and he was saying that a magical, spiritual, transformative experiences was on its way soon. And I'm like, that's that New Orleans trip, you know. And it is very, I know for me personally, doing a lot of genealogy, finding out where my father's father was from, because he did not he did not grow up knowing him. He only knew his name. So I kind of had to track him down. And I found out he was from New Orleans. So I immediately became like intrigued with New Orleans from that moment on, and the culture. And it kind of explained to me why I was a lot more witchy, you know, than maybe my sister or other members, because my mother's side has that witchy, spiritualist, you know, occultist energy too, very heavy. But, you know, on my father's side, you got that New Orleans voodoo, hoodoo stuff going on. So.
Right.
It's blood. They calling me down there. Miss Lucretia. It was so weird. Like Lucretia found me and then setting up this trip at this time, I think is very telling, you know, that it is. I got a reading too last year because I wanted to go to Mardi Gras. And I told this guy, I said, give me a reading. I feel like New Orleans is calling me. Everywhere I go, people are talking about it. There's these masks and, you know, things that are related to Mardi Gras. And so he gave me a reading with that New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck. And the ancestor card was there. The Mama Brigitte card was there. And about 7 or 8 cards that reference New Orleans specifically. So, you know, he was like, oh, yeah, the ancestors calling you. And he wasn't playing. He moved Lucretia and moved you. And before you know it, we on a trip, you know?
Right.
Right. I go.
Yeah, this is definitely an exciting time, and I can't say it's every week we get closer to the time for us to go. Like I done went from leaving on the 30th to now. I feel like I want to leave on the 28th, honey. I'm trying to come 2 extra days early.
Okay. I am definitely
I'm
excited.
just ready to get down there, but yeah, like this is gonna be a fun time, y'all. And so this actually, for those of y'all who don't know, this will be our very first time coming together as a coven, a unit, as one. And so we are going to be doing a few different things. We're going to be manifesting for the coven. We're going to be manifesting for ourselves individually, for our businesses, for our followers. It's a lot of things that we are planning on doing. We're also probably going to be trying to get a photo shoot because we're going to be preparing for the winter solstice. So we're going to be trying to get the coven prepared for you guys so that we can start to take in some of our followers, people who are interested in possibly becoming members of the coven. We're going to start trying to open those doors up to the public here in the next few months or so. But we got some things that we have to put in order before we can just bring it to the table for y'all. But it's coming. So I've had a lot of people inboxing me about becoming a part of our coven. And our coven is not like every other coven. Let's get that understood. Like our coven is extremely different. We are an all melanated coven, but we don't do what a lot of other covens do. And so we let spirit lead us, but we all have different aspects of spirituality. Like I myself am a shaman. Crystal too is into shamanism, but Crystal, she does tarot readings. I think you're kind of a medium. If you ask me, you talking about going to a medium. I feel like she is a medium.
Right. I'm a medium, but sometimes you need somebody else to do it for you.
Especially in your own life. In your personal life, you need to go to someone on the outside.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
And you know what, man?
Every now and then you need somebody else to look in. You know, somebody else to connect for you.
That's true. Earlier today, me and Krisha was talking about that. You know, we were sharing with another friend, and we were telling them, you know, sometimes we sabotage our own readings because we already have pre-thought what we anticipate the outcome to be, and so you don't give yourself a proper reading. So, you know, sometimes you have to. Some people read themselves and they don't clear themselves. They don't even sage. You know, they just let me get the cards and they just start going, and so you kind of messed up your own readings like that. So you do need to go to a real professional that can read you. Sometimes you need to do that. But my sister Krisha, Coach Krisha, y'all know she's a publisher. She's an author. But Krisha does some now. You talking about a mega manifester, baby. That's a manifester right there, honey. Get you anything you want. You hear me?
Girl.
She might be get you some dollar bills that dripped in gold, baby. But then let me tell you, we got our mystical sister Teresa. I don't think we give Teresa we don't talk about what Teresa's gifts are a lot. Now Teresa is very mystical to me, honey. She taps into areas that I don't even be going into. You know, Teresa done read me a few times and I'm like, damn, you seen that? Shit, I didn't even see that, you know. So Teresa is very, very deep. She's very mystical, very magical. Um, she has a lot of ancient knowledge, y'all. And I'm not talking about ancient knowledge from reading. I'm talking about natural ancient knowledge. Like you could tell that that she's an old soul. She been here a few times. Okay. Me and her probably been here together a few times.
I've been here
But
with, well, we've all came in together quite a few times, but Crystal and I have been together for a long time. A long
You know
time.
what Spirit told me, you guys? They told me that we are kindred spirits and we have known each other before.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
was this was a
Yep.
couple days ago. I was getting a couple downloads. I probably should have shared that with y'all, but here you go.
I absolutely know it. Because I've even seen a lifetime where I've
Yeah.
been Crystal's wife.
Oh
Oh,
Lord.
well.
Yeah. I had to laugh about it because she don't tell very many people who she was in that lifetime. But
Oh no.
yeah, and it
Well,
was
I
so
asked y'all
funny
no personal questions about that lifetime.
That was
because
probably
I
one of
couldn't
the
figure
lifetimes.
out I couldn't
So
figure
funny,
out
you
who I
guys.
was and why I was this woman who was so longing and I was alone because nobody would talk to me. But this
Hmm.
person would come in and out of my life and nobody would talk to me because he kept me separated. Now he would come in when he wanted to, but I was the wife. I was her
Yeah.
wife.
You see what I'm saying, y'all? Teresa be going all the way back, honey. You want to know something? Do you really want to know something? She might tell you something you really don't want to know.
Okay.
People do that to me sometimes, like, "Oh my God, I was so afraid of what you're going to tell me. It wasn't that bad." I'm like, "Come on, it's never as bad as people think it is." You know what I mean? All
Mm-mm.
that
Right, right.
trepidation and stuff is unnecessary. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
So I
true.
ordered. So y'all, we gonna dress up while we down there. Just to tell our followers, we gonna be dressing up while we down there, y'all. So all of us still trying to figure out who we gonna be. But I think that I have locked down that I'm gonna be Madame Brigitte because I done already ordered the clothes. That's one day. Now I don't know who I'm gonna be the other 2 days.
You
Because I've
know,
already
for some
decided.
reason, I didn't decide. I think somehow Oshun decided for me that that would be what I would do because I've been working with her a lot lately. But she's
Uh-huh.
so picky. That energy is picky. I swear it don't matter what I find. It's like, nah, I just keep getting that no, no, no. I'm like, well, what then? And I feel like I'm in this holding pattern, like I'm waiting on it to be delivered to me somehow. It's like, I could have just grabbed all y'all and found some wine thing. She's easy to please or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna have it
Oh,
done
my
by the
Oya
time I
ain't
get
even
there.
wine, so.
Right, right, you ain't lying. It's like, oh,
My
gotta be
Oya is
food for the diva.
rainbow.
You know,
Gotta
one
be.
thing I did kind of want to talk about. I kind of been
Being
going through my own
Oshun and
personal little thing. My coven sisters know, but most of y'all don't know. And I'm not going to go into deep detail, but what I am going to say is that one of the things the spirit was telling me that I probably needed to start talking about was self care. But then my sister Crystal, she did a video earlier today, and she did one I think yesterday, kind of centered around sometimes why our spell work don't work, and
Right, right.
different things that we do wrong when we are doing our workings and stuff like that. But one thing I'm going to say, this is a lesson learned. Um, Sometimes, y'all, we have all the power and we do everything. We put the best intent we have into our workings, and sometimes we don't realize that our environment stops our magic from working properly.
hmm
And some things are no fault of our own, but it's just the things that's going on in your environment, the people that are around you in your environment can stop your magic. Or sometimes they don't even realize that they're doing it, and sometimes they know damn well they fucking with your magic. You
hmm
understand what I'm saying? So at the end
Right.
of the day, what I have learned is that you got to really pay attention and be focused even still in doing your magic and doing your proper intentions. It doesn't mean that there are not counterattacks coming, because you got to know like playing Guns and Robbers, you know you got people doing this from every side and every angle. So from every side and every angle, you have to be prepared and you have to be working from every angle, not just one direction. I think a lot
Right.
of times, and even I have gotten complacent in that sometimes where I have done my magic and I do it from one single aspect and I don't cover all of my bases and then I get attacked from the side and I was working from the front. So I think the
You
spirit
get
kind of
thrown off.
wanted to
Yeah.
put out there, in doing our works and doing our spells and doing rituals, and especially when you working for other people and you got clients and stuff like that, you gotta be careful about where you got your stuff set up at, who has access to your things. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay attention to all of that. That shit matters. You understand? And
Right.
sometimes we
Absolutely.
very complacent in, well, this is my house. I'm going to sit, this is my altar. Okay, but how many other people flowing around that altar? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Who cleared themselves before they came around your altar? You don't know. And I'm gonna tell you something. It can be just a little touch. I think we talked about this in one of our other videos. How it's a real thing. Like when you walk past somebody, you touch them. The things and the spirits and entities that are on them can jump on you. That's a real
Hmm.
thing. It happens the
Absolutely.
same way with your workings and your altar. Somebody touch your altar, then just know that whatever's on that person, then jump on that particular
Hmm.
spell or ritual that you're doing. So, it's all
Hmm.
about being extra protective. I think I did a video on that too about protection and staying very vigilant about
Yeah,
protecting
absolutely.
yourself. But now I'm talking about protecting your magic because
Right.
it ain't nothing. I'm gonna tell you something. Somebody messing with your magic is like somebody. I'm a hairstylist, so that's like me having a client in my chair and another stylist walk up and start doing their hair. What the hell is going down right here? We don't do that.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm. And you want to start
Because when
slapping
you
hands.
messing with my magic, you are messing with my livelihood. You messing with my well being. You messing with me. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of one subject that I want us to touch on because I know everybody got some good information to give to that because we already have. I've been listening, watching my sisters do their videos, and they already have been touching on those particular topics. And I think that at this time of the year, especially because now we starting to go into the holidays, and sometimes we get very unfocused when the holiday time come around because we so caught up in the festivities and things like that, and we trying to manifest at the same time because we want to be able to do stuff for the holidays. But how many people you got around your stuff? Like you really need to be extra cautious at this time when you are trying to manifest doing certain things. Um, and certain different events and stuff coming up, you gotta be careful with who you allow access to your magic and your altars and things like that.
Right.
So, Chris, I know you probably got something to say. Krisha, I know Teresa probably got something to say because I can see it.
Oh,
I hear it
wait.
burning.
Well, I just think back to, when I was going through my situation that was kind of similar to yours. And I would call it like the person would come in and like throw in that grenade and then walk out and would want everybody to fight and then would come back when they thought the dust was clear and didn't think anybody noticed. And that was they little chaos magic that they pulled. So everybody else was upset with everybody else, but not them. And they could come
Mm.
back and everybody was thrown off. So that person could keep feeding off everybody they wanted to feed off of. So they getting fed,
Mhm.
but everybody else getting weaker and don't know what's going on, more confused. That's the purpose of these
Yeah.
people. So
Mhm.
what I had to start doing is because I was at a point where I couldn't even in my own space. It was like I couldn't light candles. Now I can't light candles. Oh, okay. Incense? Nope. Can't light incense. Okay. All my
Mhm.
stuff's being touched. Everything's being knocked down. Anytime I set up anything, it's messed with. Short bursts. I'm going outside. I'm gonna do me a ritual outside. I'm gonna light me a candle real quick. Short bursts. So I had to stay that focused, that vigilant, where I had to do a quick ritual. And then when it gets just to that point where it's that overwhelming, you have to get help. You
Right.
have to get help.
Mhm.
Because if you can't handle it, you can't
Yeah,
handle it.
that's
And you
true.
have to know when to say when.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what? I'm learning how to get real creative with where I put altars at now, y'all. Like seriously, I'm using places that I probably would never have used to do some of my workings. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Having to do that sometimes, it makes my intentions way more powerful because I'm starting to do things that are, I don't want to say in secrecy, but I'm doing things in the shadow. Sometimes you got to do your workings in the shadow so folks can't see what you're doing. And you got to do certain rituals just pertaining to that, just cloaking yourself, cloaking, because you don't want everybody to be able to see into what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a real easy way to get attacked. When you don't protect yourself and close yourself off from other people who are highly empathic, who are jealous probably, or they just simply don't even like you. You know what I'm saying? They just want to, I'm going to fuck with her shit. I know she doing some good stuff over there. I'm going to mess with that. You know what I'm saying? Not today. You going to learn today. Not around here. We ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Now, there is a perfect herb. Now, if y'all want to know this herb, y'all can get a reading.
I know that's right.
Ladies, I'm gonna tell these. I'm gonna tell my coven sisters. I'm tell my coven sisters that it's a perfect herb, and I use it in almost everything that I do. And I always say,
I'm not gonna say anything.
Yep. See, she know. So
I think I got an idea.
herb.
I think I got an idea.
See, they know. I use it because it's a problem solver. It cover all that up, and it's a protector, and it keep it flowing, it keep it flowing, it keep it flowing. I'm telling you, I put it in almost everything I use because people be in your stuff, and I'm like, "What did you do? Touch my stuff?" Okay, I can't have nothing. Okay, I'm gonna fix you straight up. They don't know where it's coming from. I'm gonna fix you. You don't make
know what, Teresa? Look, I hope I wasn't in no relationship with you, honey, because you probably would have fucked my ass.
No, see, I don't do that. I cannot spend time doing that. I give it to spirit. Look, if you get to a point,
Miss Teresa is an Aries. Don't let her fight. Oh, lie to you.
If I gotta go in and fight, yeah, you better believe. If you throwing rocks, you better believe I'm dropping atomic bombs.
I know that's
crawling
right.
out. No, if I have to come in and fight you, you best believe we going. Because I don't want to come in and have to fight somebody.
Right.
And it be this back and forth. I don't want to back and forth. No. No. I learned a long time ago when I was little. If you can throw a hit, you can take a hit back. So I don't want nobody hitting me. That's why I don't hit other people. That's why somebody taught me a long time ago, get in control of your emotions because you don't realize what your emotions are doing. So when I had to learn that, okay, so I realized what my emotions are doing. Get in control of yours now, because you don't want me to get in my feelings. No, I'm
you know, back in the day, honey, all I did was throw them hands, honey. We don't do no talking. You know what I'm saying? We throw that pinky up and it's whatever. But you know, I didn't learn. I had grown up. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, child, I wouldn't have said nothing to you. I probably would just bust you in your mouth and we would have just called it a day. You know what I'm saying? You might not have no ties and no windows fucking with me. But I had grown from that. And I find that the best fight, honey, is in secrecy. The shit you don't know about. That shit when you walk out the door and you miss the step and bust your lip on the ground. That's the best. To me, that's better than me taking my fist and hitting you. You know what I'm saying? Or you gonna get in your car and shut the door and all your windows bust out. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is like, ooh, yes.
I don't even look at it like that. I'm like, hey, whatever spirit gave you, that's what spirit gave you. That was your justice, because I didn't call your name. I ain't say nothing like that. I just got rid of the energy.
But you know what? I ain't gonna lie. Some people need to learn a lesson, because some people they like to fuck with people, and you just need to learn a damn lesson. You know what I'm saying? You like to fuck up people's shit. Somebody need to fuck your shit up. Just bottom line.
And I'm gonna teach ya. No.
Now, don't nobody get on. Don't get on.
Learn today.
I would hate to be the one to watch her do that. I watched her do one of them rituals, and I was like, oh shit, she can fuck somebody up with that damn brown bottle.
You best to know
Yeah,
that if
right.
you
I
come
know
over
Yeah,
there,
man.
you might as well go
you
on and
feel
just
me?
lay
I
down and
fell in with
die.
the
Just go lay
agreement.
down and die. You don't want
I
nothing.
felt
Just lay
the
down and
agreement with
die.
the donkey powder, honey. I was like, well, shit, I'm glad I'm on her good side. I'm
Hmm.
glad I'm the
Hmm.
sister, not the enemy.
That's
Shit,
where
that
you want to
motherfucker
stay.
you want to be walking around here like this.
Yeah. You don't want no bad, no bad, no bad, no bad. Stay on the good side. Always stay on the good side because you will get fucked up. And it take a
Yeah.
lot to get over there on that. Not so much anymore, but yeah, it used to take a lot to get on that bad side. But you don't want to get over there. I done seen it. I done seen it. I done seen it. We go back like fat crayons, and I'm telling you, I done seen too many times people trip and fall on their face over their own
Yeah, I had
words.
to. Mm-hmm.
But you know what? When
Just
they
think
get
about
it,
the
they
times
deserve
that
it.
we.
You know what I'm saying? They've been and
Just
bought
think about
that
them
ass.
times, y'all, when we wasn't doing no magic. How many people probably was doing magic on us and had us all discombobulated?
I knew
Oh,
it. And let me
no.
tell you, there were several times when I was under attack from this one particular chick. My children's father dated somebody. Like I said, Scorpios are naturally attracted to the occult. She's a Scorpio on the cups of Sagittarius. And
Oh
I can
God.
tell when somebody started working on me, I can feel it. And I got this distinct feeling that her and a group of her friends were doing some kind of ritual on me. And fast forward a couple years, she ends up becoming an Eastern Star. So that lets me know you know about magic. Then come find
I
out she
almost
goes to the
became
same
an Eastern
candle store
Star.
that I used to go to. So you even go to the same candle store I went to. So I had to find this out later, but I was like, she was doing shit on me. So yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. I almost became an Eastern Star when I opened up my hair salon. One of my clients was an Eastern Star, and I was asking her, and she started telling me what I was gonna have to do. I was like, "Well, hold up, goddamn it, what the fuck y'all doing?"
Hmm.
She was like, "Well, first you got to initiate in," and then she was telling me some of the stuff that I was gonna have to do as an initiate. And I was like, "Oh my goodness!" That was before I knew anything about the occult or none of that. That's when I was still in my holy roller days, child. I was stomping with
Oh,
the
child,
Bible. I
it's too
was
much for you, huh?
look, girl. She started telling me. I was like, "Girl, I was doing one of these." Like, now wait a minute, what I got to do?
Hmm.
But yeah, y'all. But anywho, Krisha, what's your thoughts? Because I know you got something to say.
Y'all know I just got back to the camera, so I know I missed something. I had to run to the check on the fat boy real quick. So what were we talking about?
No, I was just, what's your thoughts on, what I was saying about being precautious about your magic and, how people don't really realize like your environment can affect your magic. The people that live around you can affect your
Yeah,
magic. Um, you
yeah,
know, knowing that sometimes people just don't even know they lean up on your thing and put their arm on it. You know what I'm saying? You done messed up the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things matter. And I was just saying,
yeah.
how I think people need to start really taking extra focus on their magic and don't just be so one track minded with it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I was saying, sometimes I have found myself doing that. Like I'm right here when I should be keeping myself to protected from all angles. Sometimes I just do one angle and I'm so
Right.
focused on that ritual or that spell that I forget where you got yourself open right here on this side and this side. What's going on over here? You know what I'm saying? And before I
Right.
know it, I'm attacked. And I'm like, where the hell did that come from?
One of the things that's helpful, one thing that I do now pertaining to your space, I have done ritual in the tub, you know, because I had so much fire going, it wasn't no other safe place for it. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, I have, or shower, I should say. I have done ritual outside and all kind of places. But one of the things, and I know like a lot of times when I'm doing healing ritual and the biggest open spot that we have is the living room floor. Okay. And people come in and they're like, what's that? What's that? And they're always pointing and they go over and they look. But most people tend to stay back just far enough, right? But every now and again, I'll just find a person just kind of like doing this over my ritual, like they're trying to soak it up. Don't know what the hell it is. They just, whatever it is, they want it type of thing. And I have had people touch my stones and stuff like that. But it's so taboo now that everybody around the house, like, don't touch that, you could die. You know, they literally tell people that when they come in. Like your soul might get snatched up out of you, you know. But I have put some really strong boundaries around some of the things that I do just because of what I'm doing. But my thoughts about protection is this: it's like I was one of those people who didn't practice protection as much as I should have, or whatever, because I have a bulldozer type mentality. I got this thing about myself. So people putting blocks up, that's been what's been going on all my life. And I didn't take it seriously, because if I run into a block, I'm gonna find a way to knock that son of a gun down. So I didn't realize though that my life could be so much easier, you know what I'm saying? By magically removing the blocks and getting rid of the people. It's just like I don't even, some days I sit here now and I be thinking, boy, this is just too easy, because I had built up this very, very much a warrior in every sense of the word mentality about manifesting and about my life. So even for people who feel like they don't have anything against them, everybody in the world has someone or something against them. There is an opposing force to every force of goodness. It just is. And so for people who feel like, oh, well, I'm not out there making enemies and I'm not, yeah, it don't matter. You don't have to be making enemies. You were born with one. You were born with many, you know, and they will always be around. So to be naive and say that there's nobody going to evil eye me, I'm a good person, it's just like, okay. And so that's probably why you're struggling and need a reading right now, is because you think it's all about how good of a person you are. Let me just say this. In major religions, we're taught about do unto others as you have them do unto you. And we consider that the golden rule. The rule is about what you do. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The rule does not promise that other people are going to do to you what you've done to them or done for them or for others, right? So here's the other side of that. You be the best person you can be, but you got to understand everybody not like you. And that's how that works. You know, and you do what you have to do. I keep personally, my favorite source of protection is onyx, because it can be programmed to basically snatch the soul right out of a person. And so some people might say certain things about how I do my thing is heavy-handed, but it works for me and I love it. And I don't feel no guilt about it. You understand what I'm saying? So if you over there sitting, okay, it's like, if you don't start, you don't have to worry. But if you do start, I don't intend to have to ever deal with you again. I want to make an example out of you,
right?
Because I'm not messing with you.
So well,
oh no,
the learn day, y'all ain't know.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Some people get. I'm gonna tell you something, and that leads to this. Some people get into the occult or get into witchcraft for all the wrong reasons, and that fucks up magic too. You know what I'm saying? Some people get in it just because, oh, I know I'm a magical person because I'm melanated and I can make this person do this, and I can, hell no. Because you fuck around and be a magical motherfucker and you be magically doing some awesome stuff to yourself. You know what I'm saying? If your intentions are not in the right place, it's going to backfire. Bottom line. I don't care how many other ways you can, you know what I'm saying? You can pretend all you want to. You can sit in front of your altar and you can act like, no, I'm doing this because I really want to help this person. But spirit knows your soul. They know your heart and they know what you're thinking. At the end of the day, you can lie to everybody else all you want to. Spirit already knows your heart. They know where you're going with your workers. You know what I'm saying? So just know that if it's not coming from a good place and if it's not genuine, please believe that whatever it is you're trying to inflict on somebody else, it's going to come back to you 35,000 times worse than what you're trying to put on the other person. So be careful. You know what I'm saying? It's not It's not that this thing is evil. It's not even. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with manipulating things to do what you wanted to do. You are the author of your book. You create your own reality, so you can make things happen the way you want them to happen. But just understand that at the end of the day, that whatever it is that you are requesting of somebody else, you won't get that back. So if you're requesting good things or somebody doing something fucked up to you, by all means, you have every right to protect yourself, but do it with the best intention. You understand what I'm saying? Especially for yourself, because you don't want to fuck your own shit up trying to fuck somebody else up. That ain't even cool.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people don't get that. But you know what? And I would say this, guys. Okay. Good and evil is more of man-made constructs. Let me give you a good example. Let's take Mother Nature. Let's take a volcano, for example. The people whose house is in the path of the flow of the lava would consider that an evil type of thing that just happened. As natural as it is, forest fires, all of these natural disasters, we call them disasters because we're speaking from the perspective of loss. Okay. From a natural perspective, it's necessary. So then you
nobody tell you
consider
put your
that
dumb ass
good
under the
or
volcano.
beautiful even. Okay. We have a tendency to, when we get freeing yourself from this matrix and from the programming of any of these teachings, and understand this, I'm not saying that we're a society, we don't need rules and have society norms. We do need societal norms because everybody's not mature enough to be sovereign, to be free, to walk in their divinity. Everybody's just not. Okay, so we need that. But when you're coming free from that, you find out that there's a lot of things you've always lived by that's just absolutely not true. It's a construct to keep you in line and going along with whatever system that you're a part of. So when people talk about left hand path and right hand path magic, white and black magic, good and evil and all that, the fact of the matter is good and evil can only exist in the heart of the person who's either judging it, which it doesn't change the fact that whoever did it, whatever they were thinking, it only talks about how you feel about it. Okay. And the person who's doing whatever, and that only talks about how they feel about it. So we have to get to a place where we get over that. Like, it has taken me a long time. What I have discovered is living from a place of honor. If I honor myself in every decision that I make, I can't dishonor anyone else, because to dishonor anyone is to dishonor myself, because there is a oneness between me and everybody else in the world, you and everybody else in the world. So it's not about right and wrong, good and evil. It's about whether or not you are honoring yourself in what you're doing. Like when you're trying to do magic, and I'm not talking about nobody, but when you're trying to do magic to break some people up so that you can have an opportunity to get back with them and this and this and that, are you really honoring yourself? Because you're trying to force somebody who has chosen to leave you alone to come back to you. So you're still not being loved. You're still not being honored. And you have lowered yourself to the point to say, I gotta steal somebody's emotional whatever because I can't get it because I'm not worthy. Now that's the truth of what you're saying when you do that. Self-honor is, you know what, he gone, bye bitch, see ya. You know what I'm saying? I just open myself up. I release him with the highest thoughts and intentions. Go on, live your life, be happy, whatever. And I just thank you for the next one that's going to be the right one and the perfect one. And he's going to be and she's going to be and blah, 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 blah. Right. That's self-honoring.
Right. That's true. You know what? And another thing that a lot of people don't realize in those particular type of spells and rituals is you're asking for a person. So y'all broke up for a reason, right? Whether that person messed up or whatever the issue is, you want to call that person back. But the thing is you want to call the mess back. You understand what I'm saying? Because whatever broke y'all up was messy. So to want to call back that person, you want to call back the mess. Do you know what comes with that? So just understand that calling that person back, you calling that time back. You're not asking for the person to come back in their newness. You calling back the time y'all left from, the messy shit. So guess what? You're going to call back the messy shit and you're going to pick up right where you left off at. And it might come back tenfold worse because you just manipulated that person to do something that they walked away from because they didn't want to be there. So now you didn't call them back, which is probably going to make them mad to a certain degree, or it's just not going to be what you're anticipating it to be. Understand that. I had to tell a client who is a friend, she wants to do that. And I said to her, so I just want you to make sure that you have the full knowledge and understanding that this person is broken, and so you want to call back in the brokenness. Like you're not even saying I want him. You're not even saying that you want this person to be the best version of yourself, and you want them back in their newness. You saying I just want them back. You want the mess. You want the shit that. You want the 10 kids and the 4 baby mamas and the 3 marriages. You want all of that because just know that that's what you're getting back. Okay, I just hope you have a real understanding of where you are getting this person at. You understand what I'm saying? And so here's the thing. You got to do work on yourself. This is where a lot of people mess up or they don't understand. That when you are asking us as practitioners to do certain things for you, it requires you to do work on you. But what y'all want to do is you just want to change and fix and manipulate and change and transform the other person so you can stay the way you are. Hell no. Okay? That's what got you in the broke up relationship to begin with. So why would you want to start from right there again? Why wouldn't you make yourself the best version of yourself that you could be? So guess what? Here's the magic in that. You changing yourself and fixing you and working on you from within out. Yes. Creating the best version of yourself is going to automatically draw that person back to you. That's the magic. But instead, you don't want to do the work in between. You just want to stay your old self. You want to keep doing your old shit. You want to keep going, sleeping around with Tom, Dick, and Harry and Susie, Bob, and whoever else while you bring this person back into the new mess you creating while y'all ain't together. That don't make no damn sense to me, but it seems to make sense to everybody else. And guess what? If that's what you want to spend your money on, I just hope you understand that doing that, you're going to always keep coming back. It's going to always be something, and it ain't going to never be right. It ain't going to be what you're wanting it to be because you're not even getting it from that good space to begin with.
Man, that was powerful. True story.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't see. Here's the thing: we live in the McDonald's, the microwave.
I'm telling you,
time frame. You understand what I'm saying? Everything gotta be quick. Crystal was talking about this. Everybody wants shit right now. Yeah, look, they want it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to back in the day before we had cell phones? Nigga, you walked your ass to the payphone and waited if somebody was on it. Well, what's the difference in the magic? Like, you can't go in and do magic like it's a bag of popcorn. It'll be ready in 1 minute. That's not how magic works. Mm-hmm. Sometimes magic takes a minute. You got to do it at the right time. You can't call me today and tell me that you want something done that should be done on a new moon, and we just in a quarter moon. You're going to have to wait, okay? Like, no. That's not how that goes. But you want me to do it anyway at the wrong time, and you're not going to get the results you want.
Right.
That's not how that goes, y'all. Like, seriously, honestly. Like, even when going to school is not just go in here and we'll just give you a diploma. You got to go to school for 12 years.
Okay.
So understand, you go from kindergarten to 12th grade before you can get a diploma. And now, some states, if you don't pass the test, I don't give a damn if you pass all the way to 12th grade. If you don't pass that 12th grade test, you ain't getting no diploma.
But more importantly, with magic, you're affecting change. So if you truly want change, why do you want to go back to something old? How's that changing? So to truly have change, why are you going back to something old? You know, they always taught you in the church, you can't receive if your hands closed. How you gonna get something your hands closed? You holding on to something old. If they trying to
Girl,
rip something out your hand and you busy holding on to it, how you gonna get something new? You holding on to that old busted out mess, but you can't get
yep.
nothing new. You
Mm.
can never transform. You can never perform true magic, and you holding on to the old busted mess.
hmm Sometimes
So
the true
you gotta
magic
let go.
is Sometimes the true magic is doing all of that, working on yourself for the new person, for the new house, for the new car, for
Okay.
the new whatever state you going to. Sometimes that is your magic. That's the magic for you to progress and go forward, not go backwards.
And check it out.
You know, Crystal,
If
one thing we keep talking about, and I think, first of all, sometimes people have a misconception, first of all, about what magic even is in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Magic, first and foremost, in its purest essence, means creating change in your life in some way. You are using spiritual forces, your power and knowledge of the occult and metaphysics to create change in your life. That change in your life is also about alchemical change.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say, for instance, you desire to have a deeply loving relationship, and you're coming from a place where maybe you had a difficult relationship with your father, there was maybe some abuse, or maybe that person was not in your life, and so it set up this pattern within you to where you are still recreating these experiences that you had, or that were basically conditioned and programmed into you based on rearing, based on nature and nurture, that now you're
Mhm.
facing it, and it's requiring for you to transmute yourself, to go from one state of being into another, an alchemical transformation, and basically raise your vibration to the level of what it is that you want to attract into your life. So if you want true love in your life, you first have to raise yourself to the vibration of love. Love, that type of love, is at a high vibration. Most of us are
Yeah.
not experiencing that. Same thing if you want to be wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
A wealthy person's aura looks a certain way. Okay, I've been studying auras lately. You know, if you have a lot of green in your aura, you have a lot of red in your aura, that represents certain things about you energetically and your vibration. So you have to bring yourself into the vibratory harmonies with what it is that you want. Doing rituals and doing spells, that helps us to bring ourselves into that energy. But if you want to maintain what it is that, let's just say, Lucretia helps you manifest, or what shamanistic work that Crystal does that brings you into a state where you are balanced and whole and manifested, you have to do things energetically to yourself so that you maintain this stuff, so that first you're able to manifest it first and foremost, and two, that you maintain what it is that you manifest. A lot of people are able to bring things into their life, but they're not able to hold on to these manifestations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they attract in new love, but then they're not able to get past a certain stage, and they kind of are stagnant. And that stagnant energy, or that stagnation in your life and in your magic, is reflective of what's going on with you on an energetic level, on a mental level, on an emotional level, on a physical level. All of those things are going to dictate the state of your life and how you'll manage your magic manifests. My work manifests quickly. Lucretia's work manifests quickly because we're vibrating on a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
When you're vibrating on that high level, then your manifestations are going to, your workings are going to manifest more quickly. If you're vibrating at a low level and your energy is low, then you're not going to be manifesting at a great level, a high level. So you got to work on your energy if you want to be a better manifester, if you want your magic and your rituals and your spells to have the effect, the desired outcome, and for you not to experience a lot of stagnation and a lot of opposition and a lot of backlash or inconsistency in your work.
Yeah.
You got to work on your energy. And I'm going to tell y'all, you can't cheat.
It
There's
don't
some
work.
things that you can do to help facilitate it, to amplify all that. But at the end of the day, you have to be committed to doing the work. You cannot cheat
No.
Mhm.
You can't fool God. You can't fool these spirits. And energy don't lie. You can do
No, I
all
don't.
that mental self-talk. You can convince yourself with all that bull crap. You know, people can memorize all these affirmations and stuff, and they think that, you know, that's a part of it. But you got to go past that. You
You
know.
sure do. Yeah.
That's the truth, though.
True. Yeah. You know what I think that people miss with the self-talk is that it doesn't work. It doesn't work until it becomes real. And you can't what a lot of people do is they don't want to go back and deal with what happened that broke them. They just want to pile on some good and hope the good just
Okay.
flush the bad out somehow, and it don't work that way. If you're not willing to cry, if you're not willing to refeel, like for instance, when I wrote my first book, The Rape of Innocence, that book is about the sexual abuse that I experienced growing up, the parental abandonment, the fact that I had parents that was this, that, the whole thing, the relationships, all of that stuff. So it was a lot of pain. And I would literally write a while and cry a while, write a while, cry a while. Then when I released the book finally, I started getting interviews on television shows, radio shows. I was all over the place. Newspapers, all in Oregon, newspapers wanted to interview me about the book. And at the beginning, when I would tell the story, I would always break down and cry, which I hate doing. I cannot stand crying in front of people. I don't like crying, period, but I damn sure don't like nobody seeing it. So it was like, that was like just so tender. And then I remember one day this psychiatrist told me, she said, you'll heal soon. And I said, how do you know when you're healed? Because I was real young then in the faith. She said, when you no longer cry about it. And I don't even remember what date it was, but I remember there coming a day that I realized it's like I'm sitting here talking about this like I'm talking about the weather or whatever. There was no more pain in my heart about who raped me, who molested me, who abandoned me, who talked about me, what they said, you know. And so I was free of that thing. But as soon as that was done, because you know me, I'm ready now. I'm like, oh, I'm healed. And then something else comes up and I'm like, oh, I got to go through that again. You know what I'm saying? With this new thing. And it's okay though, because honestly, the stronger you hope to be, then you got to go back and deal with that scar tissue. And so if you're trying to elevate your frequency, understand this. You can fake a lot of things, but frequency can't be faked, as Crystal said. So if you're trying to elevate your frequency, whatever is in you that's holding it down has to be dealt with. Now, most of the times that means hard decisions. Like, are you strong enough to leave your marriage knowing that this person is hurting you, knowing that this person is working against you? Are you strong enough to put your child out, knowing that this child is working against you, knowing that this child is draining your life force from you? Are you strong enough to be by your damn self?
Mm-hmm. Or walk away from your parents, or walk
That
away
means
from
A
your
lot
turning
of
your
us
anybody,
ain't strong enough to do that.
or
Because
leave
guess what?
everything
That's
you
gonna
thought you
cause us
ever
to go
had.
even deeper within. And some of us
Sure.
don't want to go to them places. You know what I'm saying? The
Yep.
reason why we get in so many different relationships is because we scared to deal with our own shit. Because it's
But
Yeah.
gonna
check it out.
cause you. It's gonna cause you. It's a cause and effect. You
Yep.
gonna have
Yeah.
to deal with you because it's nobody. See,
Mhm.
here's the thing: to get
Nobody else.
what's in the midst of mess makes you shift your shit off on other people. But when
Right.
it's
Right.
nobody there but you, and you go stand in the mirror because ain't nobody standing behind you, looking in the mirror with you, it's just you. Well, guess what? Now who you pointing the finger at? You
Right.
got yourself. And we
That's
don't want
all
to. We
love.
don't want to go that deep within. That's the problem.
Well, this is what
Man.
spirit will do. When you decide you're gonna be on this path, and you say you want that change, this is what spirit will do to you.
Want to
And you
do
say
it?
you want to make that change, and you think you're gonna hold on to something, they'll rip it all away. You think you're gonna hold on to those things and put those blocks up and say, well, I'm gonna put all these other people in front, and I'm gonna hide under this and hide under that. They'll rip it all away.
Hmm.
Everything will be stripped
Oh man,
away.
don't let oil get involved, honey.
Okay.
Listen. she will bring the pain, the wrath, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
She'll get tired to a point where she say, "Okay,
Oh, girl.
what your grandma used to say, you pussyfooting around now. You sitting up here doing this,
Girl.
that, and the third, knowing damn well you need to deal with you. Well, I got something for
Mm-hmm.
you. I'm gonna help you deal with you. I'm gonna take
Mm-hmm.
everything. I'm gonna disrupt some shit and cause some shit to
Mm-hmm.
go this way and blow that way, and I'm gonna cause a little couple of thunderbolts to
Okay.
hit your ass to the side. You understand what I'm saying? That you don't have a choice.
Now, I'd rather heal the easy way and not go the hard way and
Yeah.
lose everything and try to hee haw and pretend and do the work. If you do the work right the first time and
Yep.
work towards learning the lesson, you ain't got to worry about everything being ripped away.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Because they'll
You
take it
know,
away.
I will say this too, because a lot of times because you do have to heal and you do have to do the painful thing. But let me explain the beautiful side, the other side, because sometimes I think people lose their desire to do the work because they don't see what's the benefit going to be. I'm just going to feel better. Okay, I'm going to explain to you guys something. I was in 2015, I was sentenced to prison. Okay. I knew it was coming because I was in a relationship. Spirit has said, all my angels had said, the ancestors had said, the whole damn world has said, and I was stuck. I had gotten myself in a place where I was stuck. And I knew the only way for me to get unstuck was going to be either a major illness or prison. Because I had that last opportunity where I didn't leave and stay gone. I came back. I knew then I was in trouble. Okay. Because, see,
Mm-hmm.
I have a reputation for being hard headed spiritually. I know what's coming when I'm hard headed. Okay. So I deal with it. Right. So when I went to prison, it was the way of me being freed from that whole relationship and free to move on into something else. Now, I wouldn't have thought when I got sentenced that I would ever be grateful, but that was the best experience I've had in the last 10, 12 years, hands down. Because
I'm there with you, Prisha.
yeah,
I'll tell
it
you,
was
when I was in prison, I never forget the very first time I said I felt more free in prison than I did when I was free on the street.
exactly,
You understand
exactly.
what I'm saying? Because it caused me to deal with me, but at the same time, and that was during my time when I was doing a Christian walk. God said, listen, I told your ass not to do that. I got with a man that I knew I wasn't supposed to be with. I did it anyway, doing my will. And God said,
Mm,
I'm going to show you why I said no. And sure enough, I got a 5-year sentence for something that was dumb as hell. That's how I knew it was a lesson. It had nothing to do with the charge, but it had everything to do with my life
mm,
and how I was living and who I was with. And it was time for me to let it go. And I wasn't letting it go. Not in the timely manner that I needed to. So finally,
right.
God said, I'm gonna show you why I'm telling you that you should have let this thing go. And I got a 5-year sentence for taking a damn company vehicle out of town. Who does that? That was the dumbest thing I ever heard of. And
Mm,
I ended up doing 2 years, 18 months. And when I came home, while I was in there though, my husband never visited me. He didn't bring my kids to see me or nothing. Didn't send me no money or nothing. And we had got into a car accident before I got locked up. And our settlement came through. This nigga didn't even call. He didn't send nothing. Didn't tell me nothing. I didn't even know he had got his money, honey, and dipped. Got more money than I got. Rolled out. The attorneys contacted me in the prison, and that's how I took care of myself. I took care of me and my kids off of my settlement money in prison. But I'm gonna tell you, that was the biggest eye opener that I had ever had in my life. You understand what I'm saying? When I came home, honey, I was shutting them down. You got to
mm,
go. And I got showed why. Because the whole time, that dude didn't care about me. He was doing things with other people, all kinds of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? And so for me, God said the only way you're going to get out of it is if I snatch you out of it. That was the only way for me to get out.
right.
You don't want to wait for that hard lesson.
But you
Hard
know,
Hard
lesson.
lesson, not the
said
way to
though, that
go.
was the best time. Let me tell you something. That was the best time because I got back into myself. I got back into doing things that I had stopped doing for many years. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't even pick up a book and read no more. I used to do that. I wouldn't even sing anymore. I used to do that. When I got back in there, I did everything that I wasn't doing when I was on the street.
Mhm. Mhm.
You
Wow.
know, we go through our alchemical transformation. The it is through stress. It is through that adversarial relationship that you had with that person that you were dealing with, like Lucretia stated, like I've talked about. You know, the ideal Christianity, some metaphysical and occultic principles and processes, and have made them historical people, and they have dumbed it down. But everybody goes through that process. The ideal of Satan and Satan comes from the ideal of Satan, which is your opponent, your worthy adversary in life, in this plane of duality. Because remember, we are in Malkuth. If you want to talk about the Kabbalistic tree of life,
Mhm.
and Malkuth being at the bottom and Kether being at the top, the crown, and all of these other Sifras in between. So we're down here in the plane of duality in Malkuth. This is the spiritual law that we are affected by, and it is through this opposition that we go through the alchemical process, and we become like the philosopher's stone, that ideal that comes out of that philosophy, where you purify yourself. But it is through stress, it is through conflict, and it is through overcoming, not allowing those things that you've been through to break you down, but to transform you. Okay. And what happens, a part of the ego self, a part of the false you, I don't want to say that it dies, but you come into the realization of your real self, your soul self. And that part of yourself is leading you. And then is in service to the soul. And from that perspective, you are in harmony with the universe, and you are going through that alchemical process. You have transmuted yourself from that lump of coal into that diamond. Okay, that whole process. Some people killed themselves messing around with mercury and different things, trying to create, you know, gold out of coal. And, you know, I mean, and I'm not saying that that cannot happen, but that is not what these ancient books on alchemy and these books on metaphysics were talking about. They were talking about what you become going through this process. So this point that I'm making here is that everybody's got a story. All of us, you meet the people that you meet who are the most powerful spiritually, all have really overcome some really difficult circumstances and prevailed. And in spite of it, like that phoenix, the ideal of the phoenix rising from the ashes, you become stronger because of it. It's that ideal of, you know, the thing, a certain amount of poison, you need a certain amount of that along with the cure. You know what I mean? You need that even when they try to get you from getting certain, you know, diseases or certain disorders as a child. They give you these different basically shots that treat you with a little bit of the illness so that you develop an antibody, and then you get stronger because of it, right? So that same thing happens on a spiritual level to you. You develop a certain strength after you've been through these things and you prevail. You are transformed. So a lot of people right now, they may be going through some really difficult times, some times where you feel like, oh my God, am I going to even make it through it? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I have been there on this spiritual path, going through your enlightenment, raising that kundalini, all that stuff. It sounds good and it makes for good movies, but in reality, there are some moments where you are just overwhelmed, where you are, you know, you don't know if you're gonna make it another day, let alone, you know, through this whole process. And then you get to this point where you feel this inner peace, and there's this shift that happens. But along the way, honey, there are like experiences, you know.
You ain't lying. You ain't never lied.
Yes.
That's
I
really
don't have
nice.
time. Let's go find them. You know I don't got them. Is it in your room?
Now
What's
y'all
that?
know I'm in here doing what I do best at midnight.
Mhm.
Is that a store?
No,
The TV?
no.
Mhm.
Sorry, Amari wants to talk about Thomas.
Hi, Mari.
She said hi to you. Say hi.
Mhm. Remember.
Okay, so I'm in the chat
What
room, and
Mhm.
Huh?
according to the chat room, Latoya Anderson, she was like, sometimes it's not that we don't want the change, we want it to be easy. That's my
Okay.
Yeah,
obstacle, trying to keep it peaceful and less messy. And I think
yeah.
that's important to talk about, because let me say this too. There is a fine art to being in a mess and maintaining order where it's necessary. Like, for instance, you can go through a breakup, which, of course, for a moment throws you off inside, right? But you have to find a way. I'm a person that believes in compartmentalizing to a degree. Not all the time, not in every situation, but there are times when there's a place for everything and everything needs to go in its place. Okay. Like, for instance, if you got a business, you don't need your personal life interrupting or interfering with your business. And what a lot of people do is they don't have that balance between, I need to deal with my emotions and be in my emotions, versus I need to shut them down. But there's a healthy middle of, I have to deal with my emotions, but I'm never to be controlled by them. Okay.
Right.
So that
Absolutely.
keeps the mess contained where it needs to be. It
Absolutely.
gets messy when you lose
It's gonna get
control
messy.
of the process. See, going through
Mm.
this process don't mean that you got to be broke to a place where you ain't got no control. That the devil in hell is a lie. That's not the process. The process is, because you got to understand how scientist Crystal made a very, very powerful point. She was talking about the alchemical process, because it's an outside and inside thing. Okay, but the scientist is in control of the process, and if he loses control of the process, he or others could die. Okay, so you don't want to unleash your emotions without any control. You want to understand that this is what I'm doing. This is why I tell people to journal. Journaling helps you deal with it a bit at a time, a bit at a time, a bit at a time. And then also, um, taking time to actually record your thoughts. Like, me personally, I think magic, the best use of magic is healing. You know, I believe
Mm-hmm.
in representational magic for healing, you know, placing your pains into something, binding it together, burning it up. You know, you want to use whatever is necessary to deal with things. You don't have to unleash every pain you have, but just one little thing at a time. Go through the process. You have the time. Each little thing, you're going to feel your power and your strength come back to you. You'll feel your vibrations elevate. Now,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes those spirit will take you quick, and usually if you're going quick, if spirit just boom on you like that, it's because you done had all this time where you didn't do nothing. So you wasted
That's
a lot
true.
of time. Now you got a crash course coming, and it's gonna hurt like a son of a gun, and you're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
deal with it. And ain't nobody gonna be able to save you from it. You just have to go through
Mm.
that thing. That's why it's better to just choose. I'm gonna heal a little bit at a time. Okay.
Mm.
But yeah, it shouldn't get messy. It really shouldn't get messy. It's gonna hurt. The inside is gonna feel messy, but it shouldn't affect everything in your life negatively. It shouldn't. It
Mm.
can. I ain't said it couldn't. I said it shouldn't.
Now, what
It
happens to them people who go to doctors and get all them plastic surgeries all at the same time? They come
yes.
home and die.
That's it. Yep.
You don't go to the doctor, get surgery, and then you jump up and then say, "Okay, I'm healed up. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good." That don't happen. You
Mm-hmm.
have surgery, you heal. Anything you do, you heal from. If that's what you're gonna do from a doctor,
Yeah.
you look at it like surgery. You have to heal from it. These are things that you went through all your life. So as much as you want us to wave a magic wand and make all these problems and issues go away or make that person come back, you still have to
Okay.
heal. You can't just dump a bunch of garbage in a garbage can and expect the garbage truck to just come and clean out all them problems. But no, you still got to clean it out. You still got to get some soap and water and wash it out because it's still gonna be stinking as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Heck yeah.
So there still has to be work to be. There still is work to be done. Plain and simple. I know people want things fast.
Yeah.
That can be appreciated. You also have to appreciate there's a process for everything.
For
Plain and simple.
everything, sis. You showing love for everything.
It's just not gonna go as fast as people want it to. And if
It's
you
not.
want true change, lasting change, you got to go through the process.
I'm,
Plain and simple.
I said that I'm dipping around in the kitchen at midnight.
It is midnight there where y'all are. Past midnight.
Look,
Yeah.
if you got
Yes.
had enough time, I don't know why I'm in here doing this at 12 o'clock. Come on.
Almost 4:30.
And why are you down here at midnight asking me for something to eat? What is going on?
Yeah. I'm ordering gifts for you guys online because unfortunately I'm the one sister who lives in a dead place. So yeah, and I'm about
How
to
far is the nearest big city to you? How far is it?
about an hour and a half.
No. Okay.
Not too far. Not too far. Maybe one day I'll pack up Fat Baby before I go to before our trip. I'll pack up Fat Baby and we'll go to Shreveport for the day and look around.
Oh, that'll be fun.
It might be stores here, guys, that I don't know nothing about, though. I ain't gonna lie. I tend to run in my same little circle. I find a store and I don't never stop going. I need to learn to explore a little more. So
That's why I get on Yelp. I try to see what's
right.
going on. Find something new.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
All right, ladies. I'm gonna have to get ready to go because before I go to bed, I need to do this ritual. I have a
Okay.
little client work to do or get
All
some
right,
things
so before we
laid.
go, everybody, make sure you give your information for the followers, for those that do watch. Where can they find you all?
Okay. So I'm Lucretia Hayes, aka M Rain, and you can find me at facebook.com/Lucretia Hayes or /Magical Mystic. Those are both of my profiles. My website is lucretiahayes.com and my YouTube is Lucretia Hayes Reno. So there it is.
That's what's up. Crystal?
You can reach me. I have my own YouTube channel. You can look it up under Crystal Williams, or I'm also known as Oshun Aset Mayat. I also have my own website that I offer different products and services, which is enchanteddivas.com, DEVA.com.
Teresa?
Okay. Teresa Evans, also known as Saratha Divine. You can find me Facebook, Teresa Evans, THERASA. Oh, I should have my page up tomorrow. Yes, amazing.
Okay. Hell yeah.
I have been working on it. So I will keep everybody posted. And once I have my page up. And then once I have my website up, I will start my YouTube page.
Okay.
So
Yes.
I have been
And
working very
guys,
hard.
please go over to Teresa and support, like, share, comment.
Yes.
For all of my cousin sisters, please do go to their pages, support. like, share. Go to their Facebook, follow them. You guys, if you don't know my information, I am Witchworks on Facebook. My spiritual name is Butterfly Sage, and I am Eclectic Crystal, your intuitive guide. You can also check me out at Eclectic Crystal Intuitive Guide, and you can go to Eclectic Crystals with an S.com. If you want any products and services, you can also check out Eclectic Crystal Intuitive Guide on Facebook, and you can check out some of my services. Um, and so we're going to wrap this up. We thank you guys for joining us tonight. We really love you. We thank you for all the support. If you guys want to reach out to us and connect with us during our trip to New Orleans, then please make sure that you inbox if you want individual services. You can also inbox either one of us if you would like to book us as a group. We will be providing a group service where each of us will be tapping into our spiritual gifts, tapping into the ancestors, and giving you guys something that you probably never ever had an experience. So, we once again we thank you for joining us tonight, and we will be probably jumping back on again probably sometime within a week or maybe next week, but definitely before we go to New Orleans, we will be doing another live together. So again, thank you all. Peace.
Peace.
Right. Much
Bye
love.
bye.
Love you guys.
Love you. Mhm.